Hello, kids. My name is Madhu Kashyap. I'm an astrophysicist. I have received the Young Researcher Award from European Space Agency and an Young Scientist Award from Indian Science Congress. I'm pretty much by school days I was pretty much interested to become an astrophysicist, and here I am. I have two master's degree, and right now I'm working as a professor as well as a researcher in this area. I'm pretty much interested in more into planetary science, and your school has asked me to talk about I think Earth and its atmosphere, planets, stars, solar system, space exploration impact on daily life. So we will go in that order. So the first thing is regarding Earth and its atmosphere. Earth, we know we are on Earth, and Earth is a rocky planet. Actually, when we say rocky, it's made up of both rocky and water composition. So we know it's three-fourth is water and only quarter is land. And we do know there are different planets in our solar system. We have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, right? So the Jupiter planet does not have a land like we can stand on land. So you people are standing on sitting on your desk, and it is on the land. It's on a rock, and if you imagine like going to Jupiter, it will be like a floating air. It's only filled with, it's a gaseous planet. So the whole planet, if you go to Jupiter, you'll be floating in the air. You'll be like Superman everywhere. But the thing is, we can't breathe its air. It's highly toxic and highly poisonous. It's gonna kill us as soon as we enter the atmosphere. So Jupiter is not having land to stand on, and also it does not have any uh, good atmosphere where we can survive. So Jupiter, even though it is a huge planet compared to that of Earth, it's way bigger than Earth. If if Earth is this much, Jupiter will look this big. So it's as big as that. So it's a very large scale. So we can imagine like we can't lead a life on Jupiter. So which are the other rocky planets which are suitable for us? The reason why you might be thinking Earth has a stable, proper, nice atmosphere where it rains, and we have all kind of climatic change. We have summer, winter, all these things because Earth is in a habitable zone. So what do we mean by habitable zone is like Mercury is too close to the sun. So if it is too close to the sun, so the Mercury planet will be too hot because it's too close to the sun. And if you take a other planet which is far away from the sun, it is too cold. But Earth is at the right distance from the sun so that it has a proper temperature so that it can sustain life. You and me are existing. So water can exist, and life can exist, and this zone is called habitable zone. So the distance where we are right now, and Mars is one of the planets that's next to Earth, which is at the edge of the habitable zone. Means it can have some traces of water, but it has we have found some traces of water on Mars using some rovers by sending some rockets there in the form of rovers. We have something called as Curiosity rover. As the mission says, it does very curious jobs, and it's a very famous mission from NASA, and it's very important to know how these things work. For example, like Earth's atmosphere is suitable for a life. Like water is there, air is there for us to breathe, and we know other than human beings, there are different animals also. Like animals also need water, air, and other things. And also there are some tiny, teeny living organisms like microbes you might have seen, which can be seen through a microscope. It's very very small. You can't see from your naked eyes. So these there are some tough micro organisms which can survive in very extreme conditions. Like if you go to a desert, it's too hot, and if you go to Antarctica, it's too cold, right? Uh, but this microbe or something which can lead on a traces of water, like Mars has traces of water. So there is a microbe called tardigrade, which is a six-legged animal, which which has been experimented. Like they have sent it to space, exposed to Martian condition, Mars conditions. So the thing is, it was able to survive for some days. So we were thinking whether if this microbe can be the first microbe that could go to that could be sent to Mars as an experimentation and that could survive, and then we can evolve accordingly. So it is one of our tough jobs to do. Um, and I always tell in all my TV discussions and all the News 9 and other discussions, panel discussions, I always talk about, instead of polluting earth, we know we are polluting earth because earth is the only place we know life exists. And in our solar system, we haven't discovered any other form of life yet. So it's a very challenging task for us to make sure this planet does not get destroyed by polluting. It's like, if you have the way you can contribute is not to pollute it. Like, wherever there is any kind of plastic or any kind of chocolate paper, you throw it to the bin instead of throwing it on the land, because nothing grows on that if you throw those things. So if nothing grows on, no oxygen, no evaporation of water, so many things are gonna go in a very bad direction. So we won't have any place to survive, because this is the only healthy place to survive so far known to mankind. So the Mars atmosphere is very like, Mars is next to Earth. Even though it's far away, it takes 6 months for us to travel from here to Mars with a rocket. Not and Even though rocket goes very fast, it takes 6 months. The shortest route possible. And Mars has a very thin atmosphere. It does not have a thick atmosphere like we can see the atmosphere on the top of our Earth. We can't see that the thick atmosphere in Mars. So instead of polluting Earth, if you pollute Mars, Mars will have a thicker atmosphere. They have a very thin atmosphere. So if you have more pollutions like industrial pollution and all the kinds of carbon dioxide, if it is ejected to thicken up the atmosphere, there could be if once the atmosphere becomes thick, then maybe there is a possibility of getting rain and other things. So the first task, there is actually, there is one more question asked from your school side, that's planets. We know in our solar system, we know the planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And the few more planets has been discovered since 1992. It's called exoplanets. Exoplanets means planets outside our solar system. uh, so when we say outside our solar system, we know sun and these planets form a solar system. Like this, there are millions and millions of solar system, in not millions, billions of solar systems within our own galaxy. We live in a Milky Way galaxy. If somebody asks you your home address, you can say, for example, your IBM school is in Pune. You can say it's in Maharashtra state, it's in India, it's in Asia, and you can say it's inside Earth. Then you can say it's in our solar system. Then you can say it's in our Milky Way galaxy. So if you try to write an address telling that where you are right now, so that would be it. So and outside our galaxy, there are billions and billions of galaxies, and each galaxy has billions and billions of solar systems, and we are able to see all these things through a telescope, and we are able to know how they rotate, how they move, just like our planets move around our star. They have different stars which where planets move around those stars. They call them their host. Like, if your teacher is trying to address something, she will be your host. So similarly, sun is our host, and there are some stars which are host for other planets. So these planets are very special planets. In 1990, since 19 in 1992, Alexander Van Gogh was the first person to discover the exoplanet, and it was not so many years ago. It was like 2-3 decades back. In research, that's not a huge timeline gap. So now the present current research what I am working on are these exoplanets. And these planets, some of them, what me and my team have discovered is like, we have found 20 of them are similar to Earth. That's a good news, right? Even though they are similar to our Earth, they are very far away. They are very, very far away. There is something called the way we measure is through speed of light. Light is the fastest thing that can travel from one point to another point. Like it goes 3 lakh kilometer per second. So uh, if I do like this, the light beam, if I send it from here and if I do it like this, by just a matter of this click, the light has traveled 8 times around the Earth. So that travels very fast. That's very fast. And we don't have a technological spaceship or a rocket that can travel that fast, and we don't have that much of fuel to go that far away. They are few light years away. So the distance is measured in steps of light years. Light year is basically the time taken by the light to travel from one point and come back. So that's called, if it takes 1 year, then it's called one light year. So that's how we measure them. And they are very and we found 12 Mars like planets. And so these are very special planets where life could exist. And we are trying very hard. You might be thinking there might be alien form of life, and one of our Indian scientists called Madhu, he found a planet where instead of rainfall, diamond rains there. So if you go to that planet, you'll be pretty rich. But it's very far away, so it's not so happening thing right away. So it's a very nice thing. So there are different kinds of different worlds where they are habitable, not habitable, and there are planets where there is no sunrise. There are some planets where there is always sunrise, and there are some planets where 6 months of sunlight, there is 6 months of night, and there are all kinds of these planets. And as I was talking, there are different galaxies, and our nearest galaxy is called Andromeda. If you go and look at the sky someday when it is clear and you see some kind of a M shape or a vertical W, or whatever you call it, so near to that there is one beautiful object. If you have any astronomers nearby and ask near that M, where is Andromeda, they can point it out and show it to you. It's a very beautiful thing. Um, and one more question that was asked from your class was space exploration impact on our daily life. How does it impact our daily life? So since space exploration, this this call is possible. The reason is internet is because of space technology. Because of space technology, the internet works on satellite principles. So the signals are going and coming back and bouncing back from the satellites, and these satellites are in geostationary uh, synchronization, and all these works on our big Einstein's brain, Einstein's equations, and they are in orbit based on that. And we get to do these things. And more importantly, the future space exploration, what's going to happen. And previously, even television, whatever cricket matches you were watching, it was coming all the way from England to here. It was not taking so much time because of the satellites. And the one more main thing is like the Mars. There is one person called Elon Musk from United States. He's a physicist, um, and he has 5 companies to his name, and one of them is called SpaceX. It is a big competitor for NASA, so they compete with NASA. And what they do is they are planning to do this thing called they want to have habitat Mars. Like they want to go to Mars and lead a life there like a normal human being leading in Earth. So first thing is first, we need water as human beings to survive, and we need thick atmosphere to get and also we need magnetic field. Earth has a magnetic field around it, which protects us from harmful radiations uh, called cosmic radiations, which are harmful, which causes cancer if it is exposed to us. So we have magnetic field. So when these cosmic radiations comes and hit this magnetic field, they deflect away. So it's like a shield, magnetic shield. So we have to make sure first idea to get water is in polar ice caps, there will be ice, lot of in the form of ice. The water will be in the form of ice. So Elon Musk, since Mars is a cold planet, they want to heat it up by sending. Elon Musk's idea is to send nuclear bombs to the North Pole, and melt the ice caps, and water will flow, and all those things. And the second part is, you would have played with, when you are small now you are small kids. So you would play with the magnifying glass, where you keep some dry things at the bottom and you show the sunlight and it catches fire. So similarly, they want to build a big magnifying glass in the form of a satellite which is orbiting around the Mars, so that that sunlight is directly going on the top of the ice caps, and it melts and water comes out of it. So these are the two ideas they are working on. If by 2024 is the deadline, which is given by Elon Musk, that he says he wants to die on Mars. So we will say good luck to him, and he has done some very magical stuff, since we have something called as reusable rockets. Previously, when NASA used to use the rockets, we couldn't reuse it, and it was costing us billions of dollars. Now, because of Elon Musk's SpaceX company, the rockets can be reused. We can the rockets deliver and come back. So now we are in a phase where we could go to Mars. It could be a possibility in your lifetime, and maybe in my lifetime too. So maybe you people might get a job working in space in the future. So and one of the last line I would like to end with, like, in my work, we found 20 Earth-like planets and 12 Mars-like planets. That means there is hope in the future. Only thing is, we need to make the technology faster and cheaper. And once we do that, so that's the reason, because of my time, me and my team's findings of these things, I received this award from European Space Agency, ESA. ESA is equivalent to NASA in Europe. And if you have any questions regarding this, and if you are interested to know more about it, kindly get in contact with me. I hope I have cleared, I have at least brought a thought into your mind of how space works. And thank you.